Reactions trail Garba Shew's statement on 2023 presidency and PDP's chances of taking over power. APC or PDP? The debate will start on the program. And the planned world congresses of the APC tears party apart in Niger State, but we get a sense of the reason for the party deciding on consensus arrangement in the elections. And still in the festivity mood, welcome everyone to Politics Today on Channel Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. It's a public holiday right here in Nigeria as Muslims celebrate Eid Kabir, and that's why we greet Happy Salah to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. But that greeting is seen on the streets of Kaduna City with the face of the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, on the posters. The posters are the former governor of Akwa Ibom State and the current Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Akpabio, has flooded the major roads in Kaduna State capital. The posters, which were pasted around the Lugard roundabout, Sokoto Road, and other strategic locations, bear the picture of Senator Akpabio with star-like greetings written on them. The poster, however, did not specify if the former governor is contesting for any election or which political party. Senator Akpabio told Channel Television when we got across to him, he said that he's also heard about the posters, but it has nothing to do with the posters. Before we get into our discussions for tonight, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
Daura, the hometown of President Muhammadu Buhari, is still buzzing with the Eid al-Kabir celebration, as he has been receiving guests who have thronged his home to pay homage. Some of the high-profile guests who called at the president's home include the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, former Ogun State Governor and serving Senator Ibikule Amosu, Group CEO, Owando PLC, Wale Tinubu, and the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired. In the spirit of the Salah celebrations, Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has pardoned 136 inmates. The inmates were freed from the Goron Dutsi Medium Correctional Center following a positive change in their behavior and in line with the move to decongest the correctional centers. Governor Ganduje, however, asked the freed inmates to keep up their good behavior.
We are in the process of paying all the fines imposed on them, and also we provided transport money for them to reach their homes.
A group of persons, majorly youth residing along the Akure-Ado-Ekiti Federal Highway, have staged a peaceful protest to express their displeasure on the bad state of the road. According to them, the reconstruction of the road was awarded by the federal government in 2020 only for the contractor to abandon the project after being mobilized to work.
FEMA is still maintaining the road that have been awarded, meaning that we are spending double money on a singular project. Our yearning today is that the president should look into this matter. You cannot award road to contractor. Contractor will go home and sit down.
Against the backdrop of agitation for secession by some persons in some parts of the country, the Nigerian army says the unity of the country is non-negotiable, as no group or individual can disintegrate the country. This is according to the commander of the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps, Jaji in Kaduna State, Major General Victor Ezugu, who insists that under no circumstances will the country divide, allowing ethnic nationality go their separate ways.
Nigeria is a one united entity. United we stand, divided we fall. God did not make mistake for making Nigeria a single united country, and we are going to be united until the end of time.
So let's get talking about our major conversation for tonight. And it's about the issues of 2023 presidency. There have been reactions to what the president's senior special assistant on media, Mr. Garba Shehu, said yesterday in Daura when some YouthCom members paid the president a visit in his hometown in Katsina State. So let me allow you to listen to that again.
The president should look into this matter. You cannot award drugs to contractor. Contractor will go home and sit down. Yeah, what kind of salary? Is that the president should look into this matter. You cannot award drugs to contractor. Contractor will go home and sit down.
So let me allow you to listen to that again.
You have seen people lining the streets shouting, "Say Buhari, say Buhari." So that tells you that that the president is very well entrenched politically. He's such a strong factor in the politics of this country, and nobody can wish him away using tweets. I think that it is in the interest of the opposition, particularly in the country, to admit, that the president matters a lot to the people of this country. He matters to the party, and that the unshakable support he enjoys, not only in Daura but across the nation, cannot be wished away, whether you are using digital media or you are using propaganda. So we see that PDP are nursing the false hope of taking power in 2023. The masses will never abandon President Buhari's leadership. And I'm sure 2023 they are waiting for him to show the way. What he has started to do for the country, what he has been building in terms of infrastructure and the economy and the well-being of young people of this country. Nobody will put that at risk by inviting another party to come and take power in 2023. So it's a crowd that you'll continue to see. And what is even amazing is, across the world, the popularity of leaders has been shattered by COVID. Opposite is the case here. President Buhari is increasing in his own popularity.
Well, you heard him there. That's Gabriel Shehu, the Senior Special Assistant to President Buhari on media. Well, the PDP has reacted to that statement. The opposition party says, quote, the PDP says Buhari's presidency will be waiting for President Muhammadu Buhari to show the way in 2023 as for the heightened public apprehensions of self-succession plot by the cabal in the presidency. Nigerians were jolted when President Buhari's spokesman, Garba Shehu, announced in Daura, Mr. President's hometown, that President Buhari constitutes a political obstacle which those who seek to succeed him come 2023 cannot dismantle. But the APC is not allowing that to go, and they have also replied in same manner. In a statement, the APC says, and I quote, unlike the opposition, we are a disciplined party. PDP is just being haunted by its past. You will recall the inglorious third-term agenda while PDP was in power. So it is easy to accuse APC now. After our bracket APC, Congresses and the National Convention, we will shock them, that is the PDP, by bringing a consensus and agreeable candidate that will fly the flag of the party come 2023. APC has no third-term agenda like PDP. Major conversation because a lot of issues have been thrown up. Zoning, the readiness of APC for the election, whether or not PDP is ready to take over or to return to the prominence at the center in 2023 for the average Nigerian. Wherever you may be watching, either in Nigeria or across the world, let's sit tight right now because the conversation is about the spirit, soul, and body of our country, Nigeria, who leads it in 2023. You might be wondering, is it not too early to start talking about? No, it is not, because it's a good time for us to now start charting a good course for the kind of leadership that we want in 2023. Now that the APC and PDP have begun that conversation, let's get started, everyone, shall we? I have joining me tonight a very respectable gentleman from both sides of the divide, a former minority leader of the House of Representatives and a chieftain of the APC, Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu. He joins us from Birnin Kudu in Jigawa State. virtually. And here in our Lagos studio is a spokesperson of the PDP presidential campaign in 2019, Mr. Segun Showunmi. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight.
Thank you. Back on the side of Nigeria.
What should I begin the conversation with? Is it from Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu or from you, Mr. Showunmi? I think it's good to begin with from Honorable Adamu Aliyu. What gives your party that confidence when the president's special assistant says, look, you cannot wish Buhari away? I mean, a lot of people may not because of the kind of votes that he brings with him at every election. 4 times he has done that, and he looks so much consistent about that. That taken politically. But afterwards, the president would have spent 8 years in 2023, and Mr. Shehu says, look, whatever will happen in 2023, Buhari will lead the way. What gives your party that sort of confidence?
Good evening, Nigerians and all over the world, and happy Salah celebration to the Muslims all over the world. Well, Buhari is the president today, and even when Jonathan was in power, he was a force to reckon with. But you could see how his own kind of force went. But this is the man in President Buhari that you said it correctly, that stood for election, about 6 times. And you could see the consistency of the votes that he garnered at all times, which means the people of this country still have confidence in him, which means whomever the party, APC, puts as a candidate will enjoy the support of President Muhammadu Buhari, of the developmental strategies that were put in place or are put in place in this country, the kind of infrastructural development that are happening, the cohesion of governance in this country, the transparency in how we do things. So these are some of the things that we're going to carry forward. Also the peace, at least in our party, compared to what's in other parties. My brother, the spokesperson, in fact, I'm just seeing him for the first time in a long time. I mean, the kind of members of his party in droves that keep coming to us due to the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. And I'm sure my brother, after this program, I'm going to also invite him to join APC and join the bandwagon and make sure we build Nigeria to a great country.
That's an open invitation to you, Mr. Segun Showunmi from the APC. It's a chieftain. Mr. Farouk Aliyu is very well connected in the APC. On a lighter note, are you taking that kind of invitation?
Can we just go straight to the important things?
No, I'm just asking you.
Shehu, let me tell you this. When I read what Garba Shehu said and I listened to it, I asked myself, what prompts this arrogance? And you know what I did? I took the time to research the last elections that President Muhammadu Buhari had been on top of it. He had an election in 2003, he got 12,000 votes, he lost. 12 million votes, he lost. He had one against Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, he got 6 million votes, he lost. He had another one for 12 million votes in 2011 against Goodluck Jonathan, he lost. What changed in 2015? What I do not like about the APC is that they do not really do enough research on their situation. In 2015, the significant thing that happened that made them get power is that some man in Lagos, His Excellency, the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Tinubu, brought his political machinery and sophistry to them. They won in 2015. When everybody left him, Bola Tinubu still stayed by him and he won in 2019. The question you would then ask is this. If Buhari on his own lost 3 elections without a handshake to the Southwest, and Buhari is not going to be on the ballot in 2019, and they boastfully say the election is over, it must then mean that they were not part of this country when Nigerians chose to dump a sitting president for them. And therefore, when you look at all of the indices in the country, you will have to ask a few questions. Number one, do Nigerians feel safer in their country? I don't want to have an answer yes or no. They will decide that by themselves. Number two, is the cohesion that makes Nigeria a nation as strong as it will be? The last time I checked, Sunday Igboho is being hounded. The last time I checked, Nnamdi Kanu is being hounded. That means that 2 potential people from one or two of the major ethnic groups that got independence in this country must be quite uncomfortable. It's for them to interpret whether the vast majority of their citizens, including the quiet ones, support that. The third question you will have is that, how is the economy doing? Is there a lot of poverty in the land, or is there a lot of prosperity? The fourth question you will ask, what is the level of unemployment? The fifth question you will ask is, what have they been doing with debts relative to the revenues they are getting? I'll tell you what. The reason why we know that the APC is throwing all of these red herrings is because they imagine that the coercive powers of state can help them rig. But you know what? They underestimate the Nigerian people. As far as I can tell, 2023, God sparing all alive, will not be so much about APC. Neither will it be so much about PDP solely. It will be about the Nigerian people taking a stand and doing a major referendum on how they think their life has been. But you know what? Let people build castles in the sky. I can guarantee to you, they're not doing a deep dive narrative and audit of what the people in the country are feeling. And if they do, and they do not intend to cheat, and if the Nigerians do intend to resist them, they will find out that Muhammadu Buhari and his APC, they have sat for too long for any good they can make, and go they will and go they must in 2023. The PDP is not yet at that level where we're talking about candidates and all of that. Why? Because we sit nervously looking at how the country is bleeding. And we would have expected from them, who are in charge of the country, that they will be saying, let us figure out a way to make sure we have a country first before we're talking about 2023. But now that they've jumped the gun, we'll tell them that, may God spare our life. We will meet them on the ballot. Okay. And by the grace of God, Nigerians and PDP will defeat them resoundly.
I asked that question seriously. It sounded like a joke, but it's a serious question. I asked you whether or not you're going to receive or take the invitation from Honorable Aliyu. And it's on the back of the recent defection that we have seen. Some of the leaders of your party have moved. And that's why I asked you if you're going to receive it, because politicians these days, you never can tell what their next move is. I mean, you're a politician also. We never can tell. We might see you tomorrow in the APC crossing the aisle.
I tell you what, those who move to join the ruling party, they are the only ones that can provide an explanation of why they do these things. For instance, we've lost a few governors who are in their second term, and we've lost one who is in his first term. You will say, is it that you do not trust your ability as a governor to connect with your people to such a level that you can provide leadership for them until you must run to a party that is obviously in extinction? Or if you were that convinced about the popularity of Muhammadu Buhari, why did you not follow him before we gave you our ticket? And unfortunately, the kind of country we run, people can take the heritage of a political party, because when we go to election, we don't put people on the ballot and take it to another party without any major consequence. But I believe that as we move along, the maturity will come and that will change. Right. But to speak frankly, a political party, the APC now, that has not even been able to have its own conventions to be able to set in motion a proper executive council for its party, that keeps changing the goalposts, that has literally castrated all its principal partners, except the leak spittles of Muhammadu Buhari, who run all over the place to say that he's the best thing after jollof rice. I tell you, they will learn that in politics, 24 hours is a very long time. We expect their cacophony to come falling over them, and we expect an implosion. And the PDP naturally will be open-handed enough to be able to bring them in, because nobody must succumb to the manipulation of someone who is dictating against their goodwill.
So you will beat the APC in 2023?
I believe that, no, hear me now, hear me Nigerians. I do not believe that of the PDP's effort alone, they can beat an incumbent. APC did not beat PDP in 2011, or 2015, beg your pardon, just by the APC. They beat PDP in 2015 because the Nigerians chose that they are not going to go that way again. And I believe very soundly, except they are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome or some kind of psychosis of oppression, where they are now going to begin to clap and hail and thumbs up for somebody that is making their life difficult. I expect that the Nigerians will follow the right path and come to a party that has at least kept Nigeria united made everybody feel a sense of belonging, and made life more abundant to all Nigerians.
Let me allow Honorable Aliyu to respond to what Segun said. From some of the things they said, and they made reference to being beating, an incumbent being beaten. But it does look like the confidence we were seeing from your part, especially from the presidency, there's something that is happening that we do not know. Is based his argument on the performance of your government over the last 6 years. How do you react to some of those indices that he has thrown up?
Well, first of all, I honestly want channels to be bringing a bottle of water to angry people like my brother Segun. You know, you need to give him a glass of water, honestly, to cool down, so that well, we're not fighting here. We're not enemies. We're friends. We're family. We're one country. I mean, but I can understand his frustration, because PDP is probably not a party today. PDP, it's probably a combination of frustrated persons who are so angry amongst themselves that they are bleeding because members of their party are living in droves, as I said. And they are leaving because there is no leadership in PDP. They are leaving because if you stay in PDP, you are just, there is nobody there to look up to. But in our party, in our government, we have the president who, no matter what people like Segun and co talk about, they cannot compare President Buhari with presidents that have ruled this country under the PDP. It's a person with impeccable integrity, proven integrity. And look, let's come about the governance itself. I mean, it's anybody in this country, like members of the PDP like him, saying that where he comes from, his state, where he comes from, there is no difference between the time we came in and now. It's not true. Look at the kind of infrastructure this government is trying to put in the country. Look at how much money we are putting to ensure that farmers go to farm. Let's see how we are trying to improve in the economy. Despite the fact that the whole world is under recession, this country is under recession as well, because this country is not is not an island. So you see, when I speak to, when do you guys pitch us with people that are angry with themselves, that cannot come and talk about facts, can only talk about personalities, you know, not about us as a people, as a country. And when you spoke about Ugboho, Nnamdi Kanu being hounded, how? These are people that are bringing division in the country. Ugboho is somebody who does not believe in Nigeria. And now he's talking, my brother Segun is talking about Nigeria. Where he comes from, there's an Ugboho there who is trying to divide this country. And no government will sit by and watch people like Ugboho or Nnamdi Kanu trying to divide the country. And this government will not sit and allow that to happen. And we as a government go after such people, will ensure we bring them to book, because we need to secure this country. We need to have one country before we start talking about elections and so on. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. And we have a government to run. And you know, I told you we were in opposition, and we can understand some of these things that opposition parties talk about. Like, you know, when you're in opposition, whatever the government in power does, you will not see good in it. Well, I am sure my brother Segun probably can go on a train now from Ibadan to Lagos, which was not there before. And I'm sure my brother Segun can see that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is going on. And I'm sure my brother Segun will see so many things that this government is trying to do. And look, PDP has collapsed, his party. In fact, I am taking back that invitation I'm giving to him, because he will come begging me as his friend to want to come and then to see whether I'm going to take him or not. But honestly, on a serious note, PDP is gone. PDP will not come in 2023. We shall, by the grace of God and the grace of Nigerians, continue to be in power. And just like what the secretary of our party said, we are going to come in unison to, either by consensus or by whatever means, to make sure we bring out a candidate that will be acceptable to Nigerians, that will continue with what Muhammad Buhari is doing, and that will also definitely get the backing of President Muhammad Buhari and all the things that we put in place to ride on back of those things to ensure APC continues to be in government come 2023 and moving forward.
So apart from the Buhari personality, so the question is, because Mr. Shehu said, look, in 2023, the president will lead the way. That means that he's talking about the president having to make a major decision on who governs this country in 2023. So he was arguing about the credibility that's perhaps left for your party to go into an election in 2023. Aside the Buhari personality that comes with about 10 million votes at every time, at every outing that he goes for election, does your party have that kind of clout again to win election in 2023?
Well, first of all, that 10 million votes will still go nowhere because President Buhari will be there by the grace of God. And President Muhammadu Buhari is not going to anoint a successor. No. The successor of Muhammadu Buhari is going to come through consensus and agreement of the party leaders and followers. The party is going to decide who becomes a candidate. And that candidate will automatically become President Muhammadu Buhari's candidate. So the 12 million votes of Muhammadu Buhari will be transferred to whoever the party anoints as the candidate. And so Buhari is there by the grace of God. He will campaign with our candidate. The policies of this government, whatever we're doing now, will continue to thrive to ensure that, look, without APC, there might not be any party again. And look, it is there proven that members of his party, leaders from his party, across the world, across the country, are moving in.
All right, then. I think we lost the connection with him. We are due for a break in about a minute and a half or so. Give me a sense of this statement. You're a politician and you understand the mathematics of election. Can you wish a candidate Buhari or a politician Buhari? I call him politician because when it comes to election, he has consistently come with his own credit. Can you wish him away, as Mr. Garba Shehu said?
Shehu, there are only two people in the APC that give me headache. I'm worried about Governor Yahaya Bello because of some of the footprints I see him doing, and he's young, he can connect to the right audience. And I am worried about Bola Ahmed Tinubu because I know the huge political infrastructure he has and how many years he's been at this political game. Buhari was not an issue between 2003 to 2011 when he contested 3 times and he carried his so-called votes all over the place and he was beaten. He was only helped by the efforts of Bola Tinubu. And when I look at how they treat Bola now, it will be interesting to see how they will expect to castrate a man and then expect him to go all the way to help them. But that's their baby.
So you see an advantage in an APC man, Yahaya Bello.
No, the reason why I said I was a bit worried about Yahaya Bello's efforts is that I've seen that of all of them, he's the only one who has been consistently taking steps to try to cut people. I saw him do a media event for journalists. I saw him do another one for political editors. I saw him try to get young people. So if you're looking for the people in the middle, you will think that, okay, I need to be putting my eyes on this guy. And Bola Tinubu, you put your eye on him because you just know the huge infrastructure for politics that he has. But Muhammadu Buhari is...
So you can wish him away.
I'm not going to wish him away. I'm going to spit him out of my mouth. You know why? He lost 3 elections all by himself.
I'd like you to hold the breath for a moment because we need to take
I need to deal with some of the issues he raised.
Just a moment. You have time to do that. We need to take a commercial break. And when we come back, the conversation continues. It's about Nigeria. Don't forget everyone. Because when we come back, we'll also look at the APC World Congress controversy and allow my guests to conclude their thoughts on the issue of 2023 presidency. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. The conversation is about 2023 presidential election. What do some people will say? We're still in 2021, but that's how politics is. People don't plan on the election here. They plan several years before the election if you have an agenda, any serious one at that. And the 2 major political parties in Nigeria already debating this matter. It was thrown up by President Buhari's senior special assistant on media, Mr. Garba Shehu, who said you cannot wish Mr. Buhari away, and also that PDP should forget the idea of coming to prominence in 2023 because, according to him, it's a false hope of the major opposition party. And he also made a comment that you can't bully Buhari with tweets and social media engagement. So that's what gets us talking. The interest of Nigerians, the deal for them. Who gets the best deal? Nigerians from where? From whom? Let's get back to the conversation. Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu is a former minority leader of the House of Representatives who's been talking to us from his hometown in Benin Kudu in Jigawa State. Thank you so much, Honorable. And now we have in our Lagos studio Segun Showumi. Mr. Showumi is the spokesperson of the PDP at the presidential campaign in 2019. I broke into your line of thought earlier. So I'll allow you to land.
Thank you.
You mentioned Bola Tinubu, Yaya Bello, but one will wonder what about the others?
Listen.
So, but you said two of them.
I said
worries you.
I said you asked me whether I was concerned about Buhari, I said
you want to wish him away.
I said I don't wish him away. I spit him away. I said I was more concerned about two people. I said I was concerned about Yaya Bello because of the things I saw him do, and I was concerned about Bola Tinubu because of his humongous infrastructure. Just to let you know that Buhari lost 3 elections back-to-back by himself. Until Bola came on board, he didn't get anything. And in terms of the young votes, I'm worried about Bello because I see what he's doing. But all of the things that Farouk is saying, the one that bothers me, Farouk is my friend, but he just dropped the ball. No Democrat will wish his nation to become a one-party state. I marvel at their need to be harvesting PDP governor, blackmailing them, putting them under sort of pressure, doing whatever they like to get them in. But do you know what? At the end of the day, if elections have integrity, every man has just one vote. And the APC, the party he belongs to, have just demonstrated we're at a point where we're looking for an improvement of the electoral process, where the human intervention and interference will be limited. Guess what happened at the vote? All of the APC senators voted no to electronic transmission. I ask you, if there be real numbers in those there are 12 million, 13 million that they are bandishing all over the place, if they not be underage numbers, if they not be cooked up numbers, if they not be fraudulently acquired numbers, why would you not want to transmit it electronically? And to imagine that a political party in government is so weakened, is so scared, that it must now say all of its members, no matter what their private persuasion should be, must vote no to electronic transmission. Nigerians, you already got a verdict on them. They are not running a democracy. They come before us and brandish Buhari as if we're in a monarchy. The 2023 elections in Nigeria will be determined by Nigerians. We have about 80 million ready-to-vote Nigerians. The last time Buhari won an election, or where he was allocated an election in 2019, he got only 15 million. In between is still a very large, young set of people. And for the youth corpus that was hoarded into his house to be shaking him, and for the villagers that were moved to the street to be, we know how these things are done. We've been president before. We understand the coercive power and the manipulative power and the weaponization of poverty. But the truth is that the Nigerians will take a decision in 2023.
All right.
And we will know whether this nation is a nation of people who like to reinforce failure and even their own punishment. But certainly, if they go by what common sense dictates, everybody must be getting their PVC ready to send Buhari and his Janjaweed alone. We've never had it this bad. Nigeria was a nation. We handed the nation to them.
That may be a strong word.
I know. We handed
I may be condescending when you say Janjaweed. I just wanted to use
okay, all right. We handed a
nation.
We handed a nation to them that was united. They're barely able to keep it together now. And they want to win an election.
Let's bring back...
Very funny indeed.
Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu. I'd like you to react. He said a few things. But I understand that we lost connection with you earlier, so you couldn't land on that thought. If you could land on the thought you were on earlier and also respond to what Mr. Showumi said.
Well, you see, honestly, unfortunately, my brother Segun, I'm not going to go as low as he's going. You know, I said we are conversing as Nigerians. We're talking, you know, to the people of this country and to the world to be civilized people. But his language is not that of civility. So my brother Shogun, please, President Buhari is an elder statesman, leader, you're president, whether you like it or not. There are certain words that shouldn't come out from somebody like you, my friend. So anyway, but look, you see, we still come back to the people. And let us not sit on the television through rhetorics and interviews, castigate the members of National Assembly. In any case, we have laws in this country. In the wisdom of the members of the APC, who are elected, some from his state, decided to vote the way they voted. Now, if the people in his state feel that what the members of APC did as regards to the Electoral Act, let Nigerians decide who exactly should lead Nigeria. All we are saying, as a government, as a people, as a responsible government, a responsible party, we have put in our programs, we have put in things we're doing for the people to see and decide. And nobody is saying that Nigeria should be one party. But Nigerians, in their wisdom, are coming into APC in droves. And nobody also is saying there shouldn't be opposition. We love opposition. We want them to come and oppose. But look, also, if my friend and brother, Shogun, will wish Buhari away, and let him know that the crowd Buhari moves in this country, even before he became president, where was the caution there? The people that move for Buhari, the masses of this country that move along with him are still there. And they are there. And just like what Garba Shehu said, despite the COVID, Nigerians still have confidence in Mr. President, knowing that there is nothing done intentionally by him or by this government to bring about hardship to the people. No, everything that happens in the wrong way, nobody is telling you that everything we're doing as a government is right. Nobody is telling you that there are no challenges in this country, but are there ways and means deliberately by the government to put things in place in the right perspective? Yes, there are. That's exactly what we are doing. This government is trying as much as possible to improve in the economy. No government in this country has ever done social intervention programs, including in his hometown, where people get monies like largesse due to the COVID and also to sustain poor people. In villages where he and I come from, 5,000 naira, it's a lot of money. This government dishes out this kind of money. You have the trader money, you have the school feeding programs, you have a lot of programs in agriculture and so on, just to make sure the people of this country feel the impact of governance. But we as the elites, like I and Shogun as friends and family, should talk to the people of this country in a manner which they will understand that. Let me and Shogun play party together and so on. I mean, then when we come on TV, we start talking as if we are not human beings. Nigerians need good government. This government is trying its best. Whether we can improve on what we are doing, yes, as the government we can. Whether there are certain things
to ask,
this government
Honorable Aliyu, the question I would like to ask is, and I did that earlier on, is whether or not you think in your sincere and honest mind that Nigerians are convinced with the deal they're getting from the President Buhari's administration and the APC to warrant the APC being voted again in 2023. That's a critical question, isn't it?
Okay. Well, yeah, of course. Look, there are some frustrations among Nigerians, with our government, understandably. Now, let's take like the security situation. When we came in, we promised to deal completely with Boko Haram. Did we do it? No, we didn't. We have not achieved that milestone we wanted to achieve. So there are some frustration and disappointment from people of this country as regards to that, which is true. But are we doing something? Yes, we are. You could see that, look, the slush funds of the defense money that was taken away during their government, when monies were stolen for defense purposes, nobody is stealing that kind of money again. Look at also the investment in the hardware, military hardware, the investment in recruitment to ensure that we bring this security situation to its minimal situation. So that's some of the things we're doing that the government see, the people see the sincerity in what we're doing, that, look, are we genuine? Yes, we are genuine. And because,
the question here, the reality is that in politics, it is a different kettle of fish when you are doing something. and whether or not the voters are convinced enough. And so when I use that word advisedly, of course, that whether or not Nigerians are convinced enough, like they did, for example, if, based on the votes in 2015.
Yeah, because you see, why I'm telling you they are convinced, first of all, we will get to know whether they are convinced after the election. But as of today, we are convinced Nigerians will vote for APC. And I thank my friend. At least, if nothing, he sees two persons in my party, Bola Tinubu and Yahya Bello. They are not members of PDP. He sees some good in them. They are members of our party. And I'm sure Bola Tinubu or Yahya Bello.
Okay, let me bring back, let me bring back Farouk. Let me bring back Mr. Showme. So the question is this. The APC will ask you the question. We gave you a bloody nose in 2015. It was repeated in 2019. It was gushing, and as that bloody nose dried up, for you to regain the consciousness to win election in 2023.
Okay, I'll come to that in a second.
No, you have to answer
I will.
Before you go into, because I don't want you to derail yourself.
Okay, let me tell you first of all, in 2015, what happened? The president of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, being the kind of Democrat that he was, allowed the democratic space to be good enough for anybody to be able to contest and even win. Even when a lot of people in the party had issues with that election, he just felt it was better for Nigeria for us to let it go. And we let it go without any sweat. In 2019, the elections that I was the spokesperson of His Excellency Waziri Atiku Abubakar, we hold the view that we defeated them. There is no way we are going to ever accept that they are sitting on anything other than a stolen mandate. Therefore, we know that they know how to lose. Buhari, that the bandit, has lost 3 times. I mentioned Bola because he's the one that made them win on the 2 occasions that they won. And I believe that he's not going to help them going forward because there's no reason for any sane man who has been treated the way he's been treated to make them win. I mentioned the Abelo that I'm nervous a bit because I see him cutting young people and he's young and I do not know what young people will do. I don't have a crystal ball. But let me tell you where his issues are. You can't tell me that you are working and you are doing well when you are using 43% of your 2022 revenue as projection to manage debt. 43% for debt. Do you know what the figures are unemployment for 2021 is? The last figures I'll say is 31%. 33.1%. You know what that means? It means that whatever it is that they are doing, they are not creating jobs. So 33% of Nigerians, more than a third of them, are out of jobs. How is that working? Then it also means that they're using 43% of the monies that they can possibly get to service that. You know what they're doing? The problem with these guys is that they think that governance is a circus. When you go to a circus, a pantomime will be throwing tricks and people will be clapping. But it is the responsibility of serious stakeholders to look at the numbers, to look at what's going on. Let me tell you, the 5 major issues why Buhari and his party must not win. 1, the country has never been this divided. I'm not even sure that in your own known history, you have seen Nigerians this agitated for succession. We used to talk about restructuring. We used to talk about resource control. We never used to spend so much energy on succession. They caused that. Number 2, we've never had a situation where he is sitting in his state, and even Daura and all of the environment, the Emir of Kajura was crying only because of banditry. Then number 3, we don't even have money. People can hardly feed. Number 4, the general holding down of the media and attempting to gag them. We're not used to that. We had the media even in a dictatorship, and our media was considered vibrant. We are in a democracy. They've banned Twitter. They are threatening to ban everybody bannable. They've just done a release to all media houses. All of the newspapers, sometimes last week, had a picture with people having their mouth gagged and saying, no, we're going to... Why? We're in a democracy. You have carried the 2019 election. Everybody has left you with it because there's nothing else we can do. But that does not mean that we're going to allow you to create our country into a fiefdom of the Buhari people who will now be thinking that once Buhari raises somebody's hand, that's the end of the election.
Shawumi, we need to go for yet another break. We'll pay some bills again. And when we come back, we look into some other issues. This one will conclude and we move into some other issues relating to what congresses the APC and Niger said. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. All right, then. Let's get back to the conversation on this 2023 presidency. It's a crucial matter because it will determine the future of this country and where we are going next. But let's allow Mr. Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu to react to some of the issues raised by Mr. Shomi.
Yeah, you see, some of the things I wanted to say, you know, our party and our leader, completely different from his party and his leaders. Back in the days, we remember when a sitting president of PDP, who impeached 2-3 governors in this country. In this country, as of today, we have governors of Rivers and governor of Benue, who probably consistently attack the personality of this president. The president had never, ever, ever attempted to do anything against the law of this country. And look at how the government of this country dishes out legitimate earnings of all the states without, you know, discrimination. And this is the same country where APC government with President Buhari sitting, when we lost Bayelsa, governor of Bayelsa won by APC, but decided back in the days, the government would probably have intervened. We lost Edo State, we lost Adamawa, we lost so many things, so many places, including the Zamfara State. We didn't intervene. And you remember also when he was speaking about hounding people, Sunday Ugboho he spoke about, a Kadkari member of PDP who appeared on a rally in Lokoja saying that they came to defeat Yahya Bello. So you see, which means some of these secession movements in this country are fueled by members of the PDP. And look, whether PDP will say we are hounding them, this government will continue to hound in secessionist people because we fought war. More than 1 million people died in this country. And now the country is united. So we will not allow anybody under the guise of party or anything to divide this country. Not anymore. Now, back to what he's talking about. Whether Nigerians will have confidence in us, I am telling you, Nigerians have complete confidence in APC, and that come 2023, I assure him that if elections happen, God forbid, APC loses, we will also concede defeat because we have this country as our country. This country does not belong to APC, does not belong to Buhari, does not belong to anybody. This country belongs to Nigerian people. As of today, the Nigerian people have voted for President Muhammadu Buhari and APC. So the government of the day is run by us, members of the APC, and if we lose election, we'll concede defeat. I am assuring him.
Is there, Honorable Aliyu, is there any indication that election might not hold in 2023? You said if election holds.
Yeah, what I'm saying if, because first of all, you and I are not even sure we're going to live till tomorrow. But this government has put everything in place, elections to take place. Remember in northeastern part of this country, where we had like war, the Boko Haram, elections took place in IDP camps. So this government is putting everything in place to ensure, in fact, elections shall take place come 2023. We as a government shall do everything possible to ensure the next government is installed. Whichever, I assure you that government of APC shall be democratic, shall concede defeat if we are defeated. But we're not going to sit down and lose the election because we will do everything possible to ensure Nigerians have confidence in us and vote for us to continue as leaders of this country.
As we wrap up now, the conversation, basically what Mr. Garba shared, one of the things he mentioned is that, according to him, they've done a lot of work and they wouldn't just close their eyes and hand over the country to other people who are going to squander. And he mentioned the fact that during your party's administration, he alleged that the squandering of the nation's wealth.
You know, I've always liked when they make this kind of highfalutin and extremely irritating comments. Most of the people they've taken to court have really not been able to be convicted, so let's just leave that. And I think that when it comes to what they say they're doing, 5 questions. Number 1, can you serve me when you're killing me? If I'm losing my brothers, I'm losing my cousins, I'm losing my sisters, and you say you're serving me, that's a problem. Can you be truly growing the economy when the price of food is as high as it's been? We've never bought Gary at the price we're buying, so tell me, where is the proceed of agriculture? Number three, if we don't even have a country that everybody is together because of the excessive nepotism, what have you really done? Number four, if you have put the entire nation, including the unborn ones, into debt, and we could wake up tomorrow morning and become receivers, and another country will just come and say they now own us because of the amount of debts they are piling, how am I going to be happy then? Number five, if they do not even have the civility of language to understand that when there's a problem on the country and a problem on the table, it's too early to be talking and trumping their chest about winning an election, disregarding Nigerians. I would just say, Nigerians, the country belongs to you, belongs to us together. It's for you to determine whether they've served you well, and it's for you to determine whether your lives are well, and therefore, do not make the mistake that you will not take advantage of the continuous voters registration going on to get your PVC, and let's just put an end to this nightmare. We are holding our breath.
Okay, so I think that's your final word. Mr. Farouk Adamu Aliyu, if you have 10 seconds for your final word, 10 seconds. We need to close now.
Well, the 10 seconds is, I wish my brother well, and I wish Nigerians well, and I hope Nigerians we the elites will continue to unite this country, will continue to be of unity. And this government will continue to unite the people of this country, will continue to pray, will continue to do the right things, and we want the Nigerians to decide whichever way they want the country to continue to whether it's APC or PDP. We need Nigeria first. We have a country, and then this country, it's above everybody.
Farouk Adamu Aliyu, former minority leader and APC chieftain, thank you so much for your time. And Mr. Segun Sowunmi, spokesperson of the PDP presidential campaign in 2019. Thank you so much for coming.
Nigerians, take your country back.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Well, just before we leave, there are indications of a looming crisis ahead of the APC congresses in Niger State. That's why the governor, Abubakar Bello, has been charged with a mandate to urgently resolve the leadership crisis there. In a statement jointly signed by the caretaker chairman, Jibril Imam, and the secretary, Muhammad Lima Emina, they accuse the governor of failing to reconcile lingering court cases against the party and the officials. They claim it is against the directive of President Buhari, who mandated members to withdraw all cases in court at the inauguration of the caretaker committee. Let's get to hear from one of the chieftains of the APC in Niger State, Sulaiman Abdullahi, the acting secretary of the APC in Niger State. He joins us from Bida via telephone. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullahi, for joining us. There is a major crack in your party, and it's about the congresses and the way and manner things are going. What can you tell us? The consensus, it does look like people are not happy. Some people are not happy in your party about the issue of consensus ahead of the World Congress.
Well, Mr. Sean, good evening, and good evening, listeners. I'm Sulaiman Abdullahi, the caretaker secretary of APC in Niger State. I have not much to say because the issue of crisis you are talking about, I'm just hearing it from you. I'm not aware of any crisis in APC in Niger State. And as far as APC in Niger State is concerned, I believe we speak in one voice and we're all one. As you're all aware, APC in Niger State is a formidable team. And let me, for point of correction, the caretaker chairman is Alhaji Saidu Aliu Galgogo, and the caretaker secretary, my humble self, Comrade Suleiman Abdullahi, not Jibril Imam. Jibril Imam we are talking about was removed as a result of misappropriation of party funds and some other activities, and lack of following the party constitution in carrying out party activities about a year ago. So I'm surprised you calling Jibril Imam as a caretaker chairman now. I think that should be a mix-up. The caretaker chairman recognized by the National Caretaker Committee is Alhaji Ali Saidu Kalgogo, and he's a Mebu chairman and he's doing well. And I believe you're a media man. You can also come around Niger State and ask how is APC members faring now compared to when the so-called Engineer Jibril Imam, you said, was the chairman. Then the party was like a military base.
All right.
Today, you can see today most of the PDP guys from Niger State are coming down to APC, are coming back to APC, not because of anything, because of the level playing ground of our Mebu, the leader of the party. And
all right, Mr. Suleiman Abdullahi, we probably will leave it at that, but I must sincerely thank you for your intervention. And these are some of the things that we are following up as your party is going into the World Congresses, some of these issues that you have raised. Well, that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimbale. Bye-bye.